Joining me now is Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. She's a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator Klobuchar, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Great to be back on. Thanks, Chuck.
So let me just start with, as you were watching things unfold this weekend, first, did you feel as if you were well informed? How many briefings have you been able to get? And what do you want us to do? Does this at all shake your resolve about what we're doing in Ukraine?
The opposite. We saw here a demonstrable crack in Vladimir Putin's strength. We saw visible rejection of his war policy by someone who had been an ally and now had turned into insubordination, taking over a city of 1 million people, marching his troops and his tanks within 124 miles of Moscow. And then you see Putin having to condemn this on their own country's TV. That's what happened. And then on the other side, and by the way, this was a guy that, had hired mercenaries in Syria and Libya, someone that had started an internet troll farm in Moscow to attack the American elections. And then on the other side, you see President Zelensky, who has governed with moral authority, who has brought his people with him, not through fear, but through their own patriotism and wanting to protect the sovereignty of their country. And you now see this counteroffensive. We always knew it would be a slog, but he is advancing, and as of Monday, I think, taken over 8 towns.
Having to choose between Putin and Prigozhin is not a choice anybody wants to have to make. I mean, you look at our philosophy in Russia, we fear a strong Russia and we fear a weak Russia. We want something in between because they're a nuclear power. But, what's the best U.S. role, the best thing that the U.S. can do to sort of encourage that Goldilocks approach?
Well, obviously, the continuing openness to nuclear discussions and nuclear safety, and the Secretary of State and President have assured us that there hasn't been any change in that right now when it comes to Russia. But the second part, of course, is supporting Ukraine. And you see a Congress that has now put forward over $40 billion in military commitments. You see a president who has really led the world's allies in standing with Ukraine. You see countries like Germany and Poland and Great Britain stepping up as no one thought before, as the Secretary just noted, ridding themselves of their dependence on Russian oil. Vladimir Putin has bitten off a lot more than he ever thought possible when he marched into Ukraine.
I'm going to ask you a couple of political questions here. We got a new poll out. We asked various questions having to do with President Biden and his ability to do the job. Does he have the mental and physical health to serve? The concern among Democrats has doubled since October 2020. It was only 1 in 5 Democrats that had that concern before Election Day 2020. It's now over 40%. It's 43%. You were just with the president at the state dinner. Do you have any concerns?
No, I don't. He did so well at that state dinner. I think we all saw his power at the State of the Union. Our party is united behind him. Why? Because we work in a results-oriented business, Chuck, and he has gotten results. Added over 13 million jobs since the beginning of his presidency. When he took over, our democracy was in shambles. We were in the middle of a pandemic. People were dying. Now we've emerged from that. The economy is moving forward. Manufacturing in our own nation, made in America, is resurging. We finally got veterans health care done for those stationed next to burn pits. We've united our allies when it comes to Ukraine. We've finally taken on the pharmaceutical companies, despite everyone talking about it, and passed a version of my bill which allows Medicare to negotiate for lower prices for our seniors. Those aren't small accomplishments. Those are big deal things.
I want to ask you before you go, I brought up the state dinner. Do you think it was appropriate for Hunter Biden to be at the same event as the Attorney General Merrick Garland was in the same week he accepted a plea deal?
I think as the president explains, that's his son. That's a separate thing. And I would like to say about that decision was made by an independent prosecutor who is a Trump-appointed U.S. attorney who had 10 years of experience, well-respected. Philadelphia Inquirer reported that he was a registered Republican. He looked at the facts and evidence and made that decision. And by the way, if that's what the Republicans want to run on, in the coming election. Good luck, because the president is going to be able to run on the strength of his work in bringing 13 million jobs back to America, in resurging manufacturing in our country, and in moving forward.
You understand the perception issue of something like that, though?
I do.
And do you wish that perception were different?
You always wish there were different perceptions, but that's not reality. Reality is whether or not someone is going to be able to get their insulin, and the president has made changes. Reality is whether someone has a job. Reality is when they can go visit their grandma again in an assisted living. Those are people's realities, not who is sitting where at a state dinner.
Senator Klobuchar, Democrat from Minnesota.
Oh, that sounds good.
There you go.
See you later.
Oh, wow. That'll start some rumors.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. All right.
There you go, Chuck.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.